So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I would like to apologize for no uploads this week. I don't really have much of an excuse other than the fact I was really far behind on coursework because of everything that's happened in these past few weeks, of course. I've also just been playing like a lot of Fortnite with friends, just chilling out when I had the time because, to be honest, I just didn't really feel like playing FIFA, and when I don't feel like playing FIFA, I'm obviously not going to upload it. But with all that aside guys, today we're going to be talking about the best formation and best custom tactics in my opinion, as well as the player instructions to get you as many wins in the weekend league or seasons or whatever you like. But before we get into that guys, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and yeah guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Alright guys, even though I haven't been playing FIFA a lot these past few weeks, the games I have been playing, I have found, a set of tactics and a formation which really does seem to help me. Even though I wasn't finishing my weekend leagues, I was going on like 27-0 runs, which I wasn't able to do like a few weeks ago. So this is definitely helping me out, as well as the team, of course. So the formation we're going to be looking at is the 4-2-3-1 narrow, and I feel like this formation is really balanced after the patch, especially since like they've slowed down the gameplay by quite a lot. You have to take like an extra touch on the ball. I feel like this formation gives you so much control and really helps you to dictate the game, unlike many other formations. I find this to be just such an effective formation, as do many other people. So this is what the team looks like in game, in case you were wondering. I don't actually start it like this. So I have like Bale as left cam, Neymar as right cam, Bergkamp as centre cam, Ronaldo as striker, and then obviously the rest is the same. If you're wondering why it says Petit as a striker, it's because for some reason I put him as a striker instead of Bergkamp. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. So the 4-2-3-1 is a really good formation, but you're probably wondering what instructions I use in this formation. So for the striker, I like to have get in behind and press backline. This is just because he can make these darting runs through the defensive line, catch him off, play like a through ball. So like they're always playing on the shoulders of the defenders, making easy runs, getting in behind. And press backline obviously puts the pressure on the defenders when they have the ball, meaning you can sometimes steal the ball. You have quite a nice high press in your opponent's half, which is a really important part of play. So that's what I have on the striker. For both of the outside cams, which is Neymar and Bale, I like to have these on stay forward. And I never used to have this as an option, but the reason I changed this was because quite often when I used to win the ball back in this formation, I would only have like one man up front. So if I passed the ball up to the guy up front, which is Ronaldo, he would take the ball down and there'd be no one around him, so I'd just lose the ball and I'd be under constant pressure until I finally managed to get out. So I thought I needed to change something about here. So by putting Neymar and Bale to stay forward, it gives you that extra support upfield, especially when you win the ball back. You can start a really nice balanced attack, and you already have like 6 defenders anyway technically because of like Vieira and Petit. So yeah, that's what I have on these two. Everything else stays the same. For Bergkamp, the same applies. Stay forward because you need that extra support. So you almost have like a triangle of players up front. Well, 3. Like you have like a line of 3, then 1 like Ronaldo. It's really effective. I think it's just so good at counter-attacking, and I score so many goals from it. And on top of this, I also have free roam. This gives him the ability to move around, alternate. He doesn't have to just be static in that position. It makes it really unpredictable, and it means he can pick up the ball in many different places, which he wouldn't be able to if you didn't have this setting on. So it offers you quite a lot of support, and that's why we have it on free roam for Bergkamp. Now for Petit, for my left DM, I just leave it. I feel like it's nice to have a CDM with a bit of balance, so one which doesn't just you know, strictly stick to defending, because if you have that, you will often find you'll have, you know, like 6 players back and then just a massive gap in between. So by allowing Petit or your left DM to, you know, move around, go forward, but be balanced at the same time, it allows you to connect your attack with your defense a little bit, and it gives you that player which can just run up and down the pitch, which can be really effective. So he doesn't like bomb up the field all the time, but he does aid the attack and has scored me quite a few decent goals. So I like to leave Petit alone. But for my right DM, which is Vieira, sorry, I have him on stay back while attacking and cut passing lanes. Now, if your more defensive CDM is your right one, put these settings on him. If your more defensive CDM is your left one, put these settings on him. So the reason I put these settings on Vieira is because he's just an absolute rock at defending. That's what Vieira's all about. He's so strong, so tall, bullies attackers, sorry. His pure job is just to stop people. So by having these settings, he's just always staying there, protecting the defensive line, cutting the passing lanes so they can't just literally pass it through the middle of your team, and he does an absolute job for me. People like Bakayoko are also really effective at doing this job, I find, because people complain about his shooting, but he doesn't really need it. All you really need is that defensive ability, and he definitely has it. So that's what we have on the 2 CDMs. Now for the fullbacks, we have stay back while attacking, and that's just because you don't want those bombing up the pitch, because if these two get caught out of the pitch, it's just game over, because all it is one through ball down your wing and you are unstuck, you are screwed. So yeah, that is what we have for the player instructions. Very, very effective, get me so many wins, helps me out massively, and it's actually quite a lot of fun to use. It's not as defensive as you'd think, and it's also not too offensive. It's very balanced, even though you do have like 4 goal hangers pretty much. But yeah, that's it for the player instructions. Now moving on to the custom tactics, they look really basic, but that's what I think works. You want balanced. That's why we have our speed on 58, because it allows you to, you know, customize your build up a little bit. You don't always have to rush it. You don't always have to play it super slow. You can switch it up, and I feel like that essence of unpredictability really helps you out against opponents. So by having it on 58, you can speed it up when you want. You can slow it down when you want. You can do a bit of what you like. Same with passing, really. You know, switch it up. Doesn't always need to be long passing, doesn't always need to be short passing, doesn't always need to be quick passing or like slow passing, sorry. You can really mix it up, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like that really helps me out because I feel a bit more free on the ball. For positioning, we like to have this on organized, because you don't want your players at the back, like in your first third. You don't want them bombing up out of position and swapping. Like, you don't want your left back swapping with your centre back, etc. You know what I'm saying here. So you don't want your defenders moving around and alternating, because imagine if you had like a slow defender down like left back position, it just wouldn't be very nice. You wouldn't really want Chiellini at left back and Alexandro at centre back. It could cause all sorts of problems. So that's why we have that unorganised. For chance creation, like I said, I just like to balance it out. I just put it slightly above 50, because I do slightly lean towards, you know, the quick passing opposed to the slow passing, but still it's very, very balanced. I just went for some random values in between 50 and 60 here, and for some reason they seem to really, really work. The crossing one especially, because, you know, there's these times when you want to pass it into the middle, and there's these times when you just want to cross it into the middle, and because you have the options to cross or pass, it really, you know, confuses your opponent and leads to so many chances because they do not know what you're gonna do. We have shooting on 56 because you don't want all of your players getting into shooting positions, so it's really difficult to actually pass, but at the same time you don't want nobody getting into shooting positions. So having it on 56 means some players get into nice shooting positions, others don't. Same thing with passing, really. Now for the defense, I like to have the pressure on 48. Now I've spoken about this multiple times, I do believe, and you don't really want extremely high pressure unless you know what you're doing and you have rapid centre backs. We're talking the likes of, you know, Maldini with his 80 pace, and that's without his shadow chem style, you know, Desai, Sandro and all those players. So by having this on 48, what it does is it lowers your defensive line, not so it's too deep that you're parking the bus and you're under constant pressure, but it just stops your opponent playing like these through balls past your defensive line and getting straight in on goal, because it's that awkward position where if they play the through ball, quite often you can catch them up or your keeper will like get there first. So it's like your line's not too high that if they play one through ball you're screwed basically, and it's also not too deep that you're under pressure. For aggression, I like to have this on 60 because I feel like this makes your AI a lot more active than it usually would be. Like I've tried having this on quite a low setting before, and I had it on about 40 or 50, I can't remember, and my players weren't really doing much. They weren't trying to get the ball back, they were all just static in their positions. So when I upped this to about 60, I noticed a lot more, you know, it's essentially pressure from the players, a bit more auto lunges when they actually win the ball. The only problem with this is sometimes they will auto lunge without winning the ball, but more often than not they will win the ball back in really important areas, and by having this high aggression you can sometimes win the ball really high up the pitch and create some absolutely awesome opportunities and just some easy goals as a whole. So I do suggest having this at about 60 or even lowering it to about 55 if you're not comfortable, because I feel like you scare your opponent a bit more, you get the ball back quicker, etc. Now for the team width, with this, this is like a wide narrow formation, if this makes any sense. So it's narrow in the sense that you play down the middle, but you also have like an essence of wide players down the side, meaning like you have Neymar and Bale in my instance. So by having this team width on 48, sorry, it gives you that bit of width so you can outplay formations like the 4-1-2-1-2, sorry, but it's not too wide that you create huge gaps in your, you know, in your formation, sorry. So like if you had this on, let's say 60, you'll notice your team is so spread out that there's massive gaps in like your defense, so they can play balls through and you get cut apart. So by having this on 48, you've got like a wide coverage of the pitch without leaving too many gaps. Now the defender line, I definitely suggest you put this onto cover, because if you have the offside trap, you'll quite often find that your defenders will just jump up at the random times. They'll literally try and play them offside, and as good as that is sometimes when it works, when it doesn't work and your whole team just jumps forward and your team and your opposition's just got like a clear chance on goal, it's not fun at all. So play it safe and have it on cover, so they just attempt to cover the passes opposed to being smart and playing them offside. But yeah, that's basically my settings, guys. They work really well for me. I do get quite a lot of wins in the weekend league with this. I am actually going to try and play all 40 this weekend, but yeah, I'm not sure if we will or not. I really don't know. It depends how I'm feeling. But yeah, guys, that just about sums it up for this video. If you have found this useful or entertaining, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you never miss out on any videos like this one. Also, be sure to leave some suggestions down in the comments if you would like, so I know what videos you want me to produce. As always, I am sorry for not being very active this week. I'll try and make sure it doesn't happen again. But yeah, that's just about it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all later. Peace.